everybody, it's Dina again with the Rhode Island Wave newspaper and our Spotlight interview series. And I have a great guest today. Her name is Christine Bannon-Rodrigues, and Christine is a karate expert. Can I call you a karate expert?
Sure.
Is there a better term for that? What?
They call them a master or whatever. Doesn't matter.
I always find it fun when one of our guests, one of our Rhode Island native guests, has a Wikipedia page. And Christine has a Wikipedia page because she has quite the resume when it comes to karate and her work with karate and as a stunt double in Hollywood. You've had some Hollywood movies here, The Next Karate Kid, WMAC Masters, Batman and Robin, Mortal Kombat Conquest, Psy Fighter, Underdog, 27 Dresses, Champions of the Deep, The Martial Arts Kid, The Real Mr. Miyagi. Any others that aren't on this list? We got to update Wikipedia.
Trying to think. Yeah, I think you hit most of them.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah.
So it's not, it was a little bit off because Wikipedia says that she has a 9th degree black belt, but you actually have a 10th degree black belt now. And that's fun and interesting. And so now you're teaching.
Yes.
So have you given up on the movies, or will you go if they call you?
No, I would go if they call me. Yeah. Actually, I did work on Salem's Lot. That one wasn't listed. Salem's Lot and Mother Android were probably, and Black Friday were probably the most recent ones.
Oh, that's cool. I thought that you played Batgirl. You did or double for Batgirl on Batgirl.
I doubled for Alicia Silverstone on that.
That's fun, and you were stunt double for Hilary Swank. So when you see these actresses out there, you know, and then they're doing all these action things. No. They leave in steps, Christine, and you do all those moves.
Yes.
And so you get to see the magic of Hollywood and how that's all made.
Yeah, it's fun, but it's a lot of work, you know, because you can do a fight scene perfect, no mistakes, and they still want to get every different angle. So God forbid there's like something slightly off, then that even adds more time that you have to do it over. But, you know, being perfect, you still have to do, you know, the wide shot, the over her shoulder, over my shoulder, over, you know, so it entails doing it an awful lot of times.
Yeah, it's taxing on the body, I would think.
Yes.
Now, did you move out to California at all, or did you just go there, do the job, and come home?
For Batman and Robin, it was out in California, but The Next Karate Kid was the first movie that I was in, and that was filmed in Boston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the stunt coordinator, you know, knew me, and he just said, you know, I need the best female. And at that time I was a world champion, and, you know, he just said, you know, having a stunt double that was doing the other stunts, she did a great job, but she didn't have many years experience in the martial arts. So
right.
The fight scene's the most important part when you're talking the Karate Kid movie.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's what it's all about. So they, you know, he asked me if I'd come and see if I was the same size as Hillary and everything. And we matched up pretty good. And from there, it's been history. You know, I enjoyed doing it and, you know, pursued it more. And
so once they know you, they have you on file, they know what you can do. So let's back up a little bit, because I feel like we started out at the end of the story. So there's a whole beginning of this story. Where are you from?
From Warwick, Rhode Island.
Warwick, Rhode Island. Well, that's going to be a theme for these interviews for today. We just had the mayor on.
Yeah.
So you're from Warwick.
I actually live in Coventry now, but my business is in Warwick, and I grew up in Warwick my whole life.
Which is wonderful. So you grew up in Warwick, and what got you into karate?
You know, I just did it as an after-school activity with a girlfriend. Her brother was taking it, and, you know, my parents were kind of strict, so it was like, you know, hanging out with friends after school, you know.
Yeah, they have something to do.
Yeah, so if I was...
It's not a bad idea, just say it.
Yeah, so, you know, I tried. I played basketball, I played softball, I did gymnastics, figure skating, just about everything that there was. And she asked me if I wanted to try martial arts with her, and I said, yeah, I'll try it, you know. And probably a year later, she ended up quitting, and I stayed with it. I loved it.
You loved it.
Yeah.
That's
So,
wonderful. Now, how old do you think you were then?
13.
13. So if you're 13 and you're out there and you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your life, you never know. You may actually stumble upon something that you love and it takes you places.
Yes. Yeah.
That's wonderful. So when was it? When did you first like start getting like trophies and because you got some championships happening here.
Yeah, I probably started competing within a year, and you know, in the younger age groups and lower belts, you know, because they have competition for beginners. I mean, right now, not back then, but right now we have divisions as young as 4-year-old divisions. So, and it goes up to the 70+ division. Oh, yeah, it's crazy. But back then, you know, I competed with the boys in the, they called it a junior division, in forms of weapons. And then in fighting, back then, you can't do this now, but back then, I ended up competing with the women instead of competing. You know, a boy that's 13 years old could be 6 foot core and 200 and something pounds, or they might not have reached their, you know, the spirit, and they're about the same size. But you could really get matched up with someone much bigger. So my instructor said, I think you should go in the women's division. I'm the same size I was back then. So
Right.
So
Yeah, it could be dangerous.
yeah. So I competed in the women's division at 13, and back then they didn't have like beginners, and you know, it was just women. So I ended up fighting a black belt woman, and the first tournament I ever went to. So that was interesting, but you know, it's just a learning experience. And you know, I really fell in love with competition probably around brown and black belt level. And you know, it was seeing my name in the magazines, and you know, seeing I had that goal, not just winning a trophy, but the more tournaments you won, you got in the rankings, you know, like NASCAR 8 rankings, or you know, different different sports. So I would
It's a human thing. It's in our blood. We like to compete and win. Winning is great.
Yes. So going to as many tournaments as I could, so I could gain as many points as I could to be #1 in New England. And that was kind of my goal at the beginning. And then I went on to competing nationally. And then from there I went international, and after I went to my first world championships, it's, you know, it's the feeling you would get as an Olympian, you know, having the American flag hung behind you with the national anthem playing, and having, you know, second and third on the sides of you. And it's just incredible feeling it. The organization's called WACO, and they have, back then it was like 80 something countries. I think they're up to like 140. So
wow.
Yeah. So it was a lot of different countries, and just being able to compete against, you know, someone from South Africa and Venezuela and Guatemala and Germany, and, you know, all these different countries. And it was really.
Now, have you stopped with the competition?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Good. So we're just teaching now, which is great. And you're willing, if you're out there and you need a double about her size, she is more than willing to come in and put on a show for you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, how long did it take? So 13 we start. So when do we get our first belt?
Well, you get your lower belts, you know, back then maybe like 6 months or so, you know, to earn each belt. And
so tell us like we don't know. How do they go? They start out with the white or no belt?
No, they start out as white, and then now we have yellow, and then it goes orange, purple, blue, green, brown, and then black, and then there's 10 levels of black. So, you know, the old story goes that, you know, over in the Orient, they used to wear a white belt to hold up their pants when they were training and working out. And as that belt got dirtier and dirtier from more and more practice, it got darker and darker. So, you know, they kind of went from the green to the brown to the black, you know, and that just, that's kind of like the story of why we have belts in karate, and it signifies your level, just like grades in school signify your level of your education and stuff. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, it is you know, we are the Rhode Island Wave, so we do, you know, love to feature our Rhode Island people. You think about, you know, you're out there representing the United States, but little old Rhode Island on a world stage in these karate competition and winning.
yes.
That's wonderful. And so tell us a little bit about the studio. Where is the studio?
We're located in Warwick. We're on Commerce Drive, which is right off Airport Road. So we're very close to the highway and the airport and stuff. So we get a lot of people that travel from different parts of the state too, because I always laugh that I used to live in, when I was living in Warwick, it took me just as long to get to my school as it does from Coventry to get to my school, because I was doing all the back roads, and then from Coventry, it's jump on the highway and get off the highway and I'm here. So
Yeah.
so our school is there. We own the building. It's a large facility. We occupy 8,000 square feet. So
Wow.
so we're able to have multiple classes at the same time. So we can have like a kickboxing class, or where maybe parents are taking it, and then there's a kids class, or we'll have a Krav Maga class and a kids class, or an adult karate and a youth karate, or so, you know, we'll have up to 4 classes at a time, but usually 3's the most we try to do, you know, because sometimes the classes are big and we keep the curtains open, and yeah.
Right. And it's the Bannon-Rodrigues
Karate
Karate Academy. And Don, you're not alone in this. Don is your husband.
Yes.
And that's wonderful. Now, did you meet him somewhere along this journey?
Well, he was my instructor when I first started. So, you know, as I got older, we ended up having a relationship and ended up getting married. But it took, I think we were engaged for like 7 years, because we were competing.
Well, you're busy
traveling,
people.
and we just never had the time to fit the wedding plans in on a empty weekend, because we were always busy traveling. So we were engaged for a long time. But, you know, now I co-own the school with him, and we also co-promote the Ocean State Grand Nationals, which is it's a huge karate tournament right here in Rhode Island, in Warwick. We do it at the Crown Plaza. It's a 3-day event every April, and we have people from all over the world that'll come in. NASCA has a world tour of 12 tournaments throughout North America. Some tour in Canada, and the rest are in the U.S., and we're one of the 12 tournaments. So people travel that circuit to try to earn a national title. So,
and it's a incredible way to get healthy, you know, and it's not just physical, so it's mind, body, and
spirit.
And spirit. Get all coordinated with all your parts.
Yes.
Out there doing. So it's not just fighting. It's not just the show. It's the whole thing. And so you're saying you have students as young as
4. We did do them at 3, but their attention span's really, you know, it's tough to
yeah, you want to have them retaining what you're trying to teach them.
And, you know, it really helps with their coordination, their balance. For little ones, it prepares them to go to school and work with other kids in a different, you know, having an instructor rather than your parents or your family members always telling you what to do. So a lot of self-discipline it instills in them. And, you know, we see kids from one end of the spectrum to the other. We have kids that are, you know, so shy. I mean, they get their head down all the time. They won't say boo to anybody. They're very, very quiet. And then we have kids that are on the complete opposite end that, you know, are almost getting into the wrong types of groups and activities. And we try to just kind of bring that
you see that
two ends, and
you see that transformation in both groups where they end up a little more balanced.
Right, and just kind of, you know, giving them the confidence that they can achieve anything that they want, and you know, and just pushing them to their max. And you know, a lot of kids are just sitting in front of the video games and TV nowadays, and it's sad to see, but
yeah,
you know, I like when a parent pushes them to do something, and you know, and of course not letting them quit, you know, making them stick with it, or even if it's like, okay, well, we signed up for 6 months or 3 months, you're going to finish that out. You can't quit, you know.
And then you have older people who want to stay fit and
yeah, a lot of adults do it for fitness. Some of them do it because they just really, in today's society, want to know how to protect themselves. Our Krav Maga program is just strictly self-defense, so it's just, you know, gun and knife and baseball bats, and we're always like, you know, having a good time with the self-defense. But you know, all the martial arts, whether it's our karate program or Krav Maga, really concentrates on self-defense, and adults more so really want to know how to protect themselves and their family, and how to be more aware. And you know, it's kind of like we always say, like life insurance. It's something in car insurance, something you don't want to ever have to use, but you really need it. You really need it.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and a lot of times people will say, you've been taking karate for 40 what years or 50 what, you know, it's like, and you never had to use it. Don't you think that's, and I'm like, well,
yeah, but you probably have an air about yourself.
Right,
Nobody's going to mess with you. I mean, you may not think that that's a thing, But I think that when you know what you're capable of, you walk with a little more confidence.
Right. When you have that confidence and you're aware of your surroundings and you're alert and, and you got, pep in your step.
I mean, that's the first level of deterrent.
Yeah.
Before you ever have to, it's kind of like leaving your lights on at night on your house, which I always do. But, is that first layer of deterrent is, you don't want to come here.
Yeah, a guy can look at you and be like, yeah, I think the next one might be a little easier than her, like,
Right.
She looks like she's she's alert, she's paying attention and she's got confidence, but that person that's like on their phone or they're walking and they're not really paying attention. They're more of a target,
Yeah.
So I think even though I never physically really used it, I think the awareness it taught me, the confidence, being alert, a lot of different things, I think probably steered me out of Murray's way.
Yeah, exactly. So now, when you divvy up people in the classes, are they divvied up by skill, age, sex? How do you do that?
Both by age and level. We keep the guys and the girl, boys and girls together on the training. We have a Little Dragons class, which is 4, 5, and 6-year-olds, and they learn totally different than the older kids. They really need entertainment. And then from 7 to 13 is our kids program. And, again, we do beginner class and then advanced classes. And then we have adults. We usually start from 14 because usually body-wise, they're close to an adult size, and mentality, a lot of them, are pretty mature at that age. So we move them up into the adult class. And with that, we have the karate or the Krav Maga. And then we also have kickboxing, which is more of just fitness. You're not really learning defense. You learn how to punch and kick, but you're not learning self-defense if someone puts you in a headlock or, chokes you, what to do. But it's more for fitness. And a lot of, sometimes the parents like to do it when their kids are taking karate class or whatever.
Oh, there you go.
So, and I always say, like, martial arts is, you can go to the gym and, I praise people that are dedicated and go to the gym and they're training every day, but you stop today, whether you get injured, can't afford it, jobs change or whatever, and you just can't fit it in, your body loses that tone and everything that you gained from the weightlifting or training, and it goes away. But with martial arts, if for some reason you quit for whatever reason, it's like riding a bike. I mean, if someone comes up and grabs me, you're gonna react, like you.
Right.
So you never lose that. So it's something that, I highly recommend, and I feel like kids should have to take it. It should be like in their gym class or something.
Right.
And with my 2 kids, I forced them to go. I mean, when you get your black belt and you can defend yourself, then you can quit if you want. And and my oldest son, he owns Newport Martial Arts with my stepson, so he has his own school. And my younger son, was like, nope, I'm sick of it. I've been here since I was born.
Right.
And that's fine. At least I know he can protect himself and take those skills if he needs them.
Wonderful. So you must have like package deals and stuff. You can get 6 months or different.
Yeah. I mean, people usually pay monthly tuition, and a lot of them are just an ongoing. We have students that I can go through like my black belt class, and it's like 35 years I've been here, 40 years I've been here, 22. I mean, it's like crazy, and they come in with their kids and their grandkids. So it's a nice family atmosphere.
Yeah, I was going to say family, community, nice community activity.
It's not like, they take it most people take it for 2 years and then quit, or 4 years and then quit. A lot of them stay with it nonstop, since they were young, and now they got their own families and stuff. And it's great to see that, because it's, just like education is, you never learn it all, so there's always something to learn, and different ways of training and stuff. And it just, we do see kids that come in and, as soon as it gets hard, mom and dad let them quit,
Oh, right.
And, yeah, you're gonna have things that are hard and difficult, and you just gotta push past it, and then it becomes fun again,
Right.
You have like those little learning curves and stuff, but some parents let them quit and some parents push them to stay in it. And, it definitely helps them in the future.
That's wonderful. Well, karate seems to have given you a wonderful, a wonderful story to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, it's quite a journey. I assume you have a website.
Yeah, our school website is Bannon-Rodrigues.com. You know, I have a Facebook page for Christine Bannon-Rodrigues, a fan page there and stuff. But yeah, I mean, a lot of information you can get up there. Yes, absolutely.
Well, it's so nice
everybody.
meeting you. It's Dina again with the Rhode Island Wave newspaper in our Spotlight interview series. And I have a very special guest today, the mayor of the city of Warwick, Frank Picozzi. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
Oh, goody. And I didn't even practice, just so you know. All right. Well, it's nice to have you.
It's nice to be here.
So I heard some fun news, came across my news feed, wherever we get our news from nowadays, that Warwick won special recognition as one of the safest cities.
Actually, the safest city in America.
Safest city in America. I was saying one of them because I did see they only went, they put 180 cities that they actually did this comparison
Right,
with.
they met the matrix of what they required.
Right.
And we went number 3 last year, so we've climbed up. Last year wasn't a freak, so we climbed up.
That's very cool. So that was very interesting. The next one on the list is nowhere near us, is in Overland Park, Kansas.
Yeah.
And then Burlington, Vermont is number 3 this year.
Yes.
So that's great. See, you went from 3 to 1. See, I'm already going to say we. I don't even live in Warwick, but I love Warwick. I think it's
Everyone
a great
loves
city.
Warwick.
You know,
It's a nice place. It's a beautiful place.
and it's right in the center, right in the heart of Rhode Island.
It is, and we have 39 miles of shoreline. So we have boating, recreational boating, jet skis, beaches. Just I'm thinking ahead because there's so much to do in Warwick.
Oh yeah, and you did a fantastic job turning Rocky Point into a nice park.
Well, that was actually before me. There was that amusement park was a big part of my life. I grew up less than a mile there. I was there every single night. We hung out down there, and it was sad when it closed. And developers were looking at it to make high-end condos with that beautiful view. It's the best view on the bay.
Yep.
But the city was able to buy the shoreline access. We put a walking track in, and that kind of made the property less attractive. And the state came through with an open space bond, and they purchased the rest of it. So it's kind of co-owned between Warwick and the state. So it can never be developed ever. They can't be an amusement park. It can only be passive recreation, and so many people enjoy that park every single day.
That's wonderful. So I read that you used to be on the student school council.
The school committee.
So what made you want to be the mayor?
Well, I left the school committee a long time ago. That was
Okay.
in 2004. I never intended to go any higher. I was living a nice, happy life. I was a contractor. I coached baseball. But the city wasn't in a good place 5 years ago. I was well known in the community. I had this gigantic computerized Christmas display. It made me well known, but I worked in the community too. And people started asking me to run for mayor. You know, they didn't think that the man that had the job was doing a good job. Wasn't just his fault. For years, we had a city council that were all Democrats. We had a Republican mayor, and all they did was fight.
Oh.
The city got really run down. We were borrowing fire trucks, backup fire trucks from other cities. We reached a point when I got here that they let the fleet of trash trucks go down. We couldn't even pick up trash on a regular schedule. I mean, the poor guys were out till 10 o'clock at night, 6 days a week. So somebody had to come in and start rebuilding. I didn't personally plan to do it, but people kept asking me to do it. And what happened there was, when COVID hit, we were all quarantined. Like I said, I was very well known, and there was a thing going across the country to put your Christmas lights up to cheer people up because we couldn't leave the house.
Right.
So people asked me to do it. My Christmas display takes about 6 weeks to put up. It's very sophisticated. So, yeah, I felt bad that I let the community down. So I made a traveling show on the back of my truck. And my wife and I drove around. We have 2,000 streets of work. We went up and down each and every one. It took us 34 days. I found an app where people could track us. We used the Facebook groups. We have some very large Facebook groups. And people just, it became a big thing. People were making signs coming out of the house every night because there's nothing else to do. And they started, run for mayor, run for mayor. I never thought of it, but some things made me angry. One night, our mayor at the time, there was a credible threat to Garden City and Cranston and Warwick Mall. It was after the looting at the Providence Place Mall. And Alan Fong, who's a good friend of mine, it wasn't at the time, but He was on the news all day. He was on social media telling people, we've got this covered. We're there at this and this. Our mayor just basically just put out a press release and didn't talk to anyone. So people were scared and frightened. And I woke up at 4 o'clock that morning. I told my wife, I'm going to run for mayor.
That's wonderful. And then the rest is history.
Yep.
You ran for mayor and you won, and now you're the mayor. And so there's a fun Facebook post with your tool belt hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
Because you use it often still.
No, I don't use it. I
No.
retired it. I was a contractor. I did vinyl siding, roofing, things like that. And I did that for 43 years, almost my whole adult life. And, you know, I'm always going to be a blue collar guy. I'm not a politician. I don't like politics. Now I have an office job, but it's not really me. So I finished my last work 3 days before I got sworn in as mayor.
Oh.
So that belt was still in my car. So I put it up on the wall and I look at it to remind me who I am, where I came from.
Yeah, but you must still fix stuff at home.
Oh, I have another belt at home. Actually, I've done more work on my house since I've been mayor than ever before because my house was falling apart. It's just like the shoemakers and the mechanics, they don't fix their own cars. I was the same way. Things had been let go. You know, the deck was rotted, so I just put a piece of plywood over it. But I miss working with my hands. So, you know, I'm really enjoying working at home. And my wife really loves it because,
I bet.
well, when I was doing it for a living, I did it all day. I didn't want to come home and do it on my one day off. And no one was paying me. So
Right. Well, I mean, it's physically taxing. You're tired. So now you can use your mind all day in the mayor's office,
Yep.
but then you need to kind of get your hands dirty.
what's left in my mind after having this job?
Well,
I had brown hair 5 years ago.
isn't that just the way that goes with all the offices?
Well, I'm also 66. It's just, you know,
okay. Well, that's
you're going to
all
get
right.
white hair at this
That's
age.
all right.
But
So
I still have some, so I'm happy about that.
yeah, that's wonderful. So you grew up next to Rocky Point,
Yeah, less
hanging
than a
out.
mile away, yeah.
That's
It
wonderful.
was a great place to grow up. We were down near the water. There were a lot of kids in the neighborhood. We played pickup baseball all day in the summertime. We played street hockey, you name it. There was a pond down Rocky Point. It's all overgrown, the area now. I could never really skate, but I could borrow skates and I could get around good enough. We played hockey down there at night. It was a great childhood.
Right.
And at Rocky Point, I mean, we never paid to get in. We either knew the people working there, brothers, friends, or whatever. We knew the management, but we also knew where to sneak in. We didn't go on the rides usually. We played the games and things like that.
Right.
Just hung out like kids do at the
Oh, back
mall
in the
now.
day, they had bands and everything down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just one of the great places in Warwick. Tell me a couple of your other favorites.
The city park, we have a really large, it's passive recreation, but there are softball fields there. There's a beach, and we have a dog park. There's 2 sections for big dogs and small dogs. A lot of great restaurants in Warwick. It's just, I love the city.
Oh, yeah.
I moved there when I was 8 years old, and we had lived in Pawtucket in a tenement on the bottom floor, right behind a bar room. And we had 4 rooms.
Yep.
And I mean, just 4 rooms, not 4 bedrooms. And I shared a room with my 3 brothers. The oldest brother had his own twin bed, but the 3 of us were all shared a bed. So when we moved to Warwick, we got out our own house, you know, green grass everywhere instead of concrete. I just thought we moved to Disney World.
Yeah.
I fell in love with Warwick the day in February of 1968, and I've loved it ever since. I'll never leave it.
That's wonderful. Yeah, it is a lovely city. And I like that it's right in the middle.
It is, and I mean, we have some areas are starting to modernize more towards the downtown apartment livings, things like that. It's near the airport. But on the other side of the airport, which pretty much divides the city, it's suburbia. It's
Right.
Beautiful green lawns and, you know, manicured landscapes. It's really nice. And Warwick, it's kind of unique because it almost was built overnight. It started in 1638. Samuel Gorton got the land from the king and everything, but it was mostly farmlands. And in the early part of the 20th century, the state split West Warwick and Warwick up because it all used to be Warwick. Because Warwick were all the farmers and all the Republicans, so they wanted more democratic representation, so they split it. Warwick got City Hall, which I still work in today. West Warwick got the high school, which has probably been torn down for 50 years. And Warwick grew overnight. There were just about 20,000 people in there. It was a summertime community. There were summer homes there. And then after World War II, because the GI Bill, people started building houses and work, and the farm sold little by little, and new neighborhoods got created. And between, say, 1950 and the late 60s, they went from 20,000 people to 85,000 people.
That's wonderful.
Time magazine named it the fastest growing city in America.
Yeah, Warwick gets a lot of attention.
Yep. With the retail capital of the state, I mean, we have 2 Targets, 2 Walmarts, 2 Lowe's, 1 Home Depot, about 600 Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, well.
There's a lot. I mean, there's a ton of retail there.
Yeah.
But still, that's pretty much separated. We have 2 malls.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
So are you still kind of loving it? Are you loving being the mayor?
I do love being the mayor. I mean, there's just interacting with the people, trying to help them, and trying to keep government honest, which we have done. We took politics out of government.
That's
the
wonderful.
city council has been very cooperative with that. I expected a lot of opposition because I'm an independent. I don't belong to a party. And at first it was a little bit of a struggle, but when they saw we were doing good things together, they climbed on board.
Right.
So we've done, I mean, we're the safest city in America because we rebuilt the fire department. I got there, we were down 35 guys out of 200.
Oh.
They just wouldn't hire new people. Our rescues were breaking down on the way, transporting people to hospital. We had terrible fire trucks, and with the federal money we got because of COVID, we just rebuilt everything. And the police department too. We had unreliable cars. We didn't have enough manpower. And, both the Warwick Police Department and the Warwick Fire Department are the best around as far as I'm concerned. And there are other factors in that was financial stability and all the other matrix we met. So, it's just a great community. And I mean, we have a ton of development coming to it right now. There's over, we have several apartment buildings being built. A lot of homes are being built. We don't have a lot more space to build on, but they're finding it.
Yeah.
We had some old schools that were abandoned because we don't have the school population anymore. We sold the land, and developers are putting houses in there to bring more families into the city. So we keep the tax base growing, and people just love it. I mean, I had to run for re-election last year, and I ran as an independent, and the Democrats, and I mean, the whole state party got behind my opponent, and I won by 73% with 2 other opponents in it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's unheard of.
Well,
People are happy.
I mean, it sounds like you've got that magic formula. You're from Warwick. You actually are from the area. You actually love the city, and you're well known. I think some people come in and they skip that part.
Well, I was well known before. I've got a huge Facebook presence because of the Christmas display and the Facebook pages. I mean, we have one, it's called Positive Warwick. I think there's 35,000 people on it. Probably not all from Warwick, but I've kept that Facebook presence out there. People are very accessible to people. I get at least a couple of dozen Facebook messages every day between my personal Facebook and my mayor's Facebook, and it's just people. My trash wasn't picked up, and you handle those, and the people are very grateful for it.
Yes. I think that being that you're the city manager, you're the person who makes stuff happen.
Right.
And that's wonderful. I think obviously getting recognized as one of the safest cities in the country, and
The safest.
The safest. That's right.
A lot of pride in that.
No, yeah, I see that. And that's wonderful. There should be a lot of pride in that. You're the mayor of the safest city in the United States.
It's not just to me. I have great people working for me.
Yeah, that's
a lot
wonderful.
of people that just care about the city. They work hard for the city.
That's
And the residents recognize that. I mean, you have the people that complain and they criticize just because they don't like you.
well,
But
that's
there's not that many of them.
yeah, still
Obviously.
the way of the world today.
Right.
So you ran last year and you won.
Yep.
So when do you have to worry about it again?
Actually, this is the first 4-year term. They changed the charter. It was every 2 years, but they've changed it to 4-year term. So I'm on my first 4-year term. And you can only do 2 consecutive 4-year terms now, but I'm still good beyond the next 3 years. But I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So
don't
you get to sit out the
I have
2026
Right. Yeah.
mayhem that's
right.
happening.
I get to relax.
And that's
And
wonderful.
that doesn't suck.
No, I bet. It's kind of good to get elected on an off year.
Yep. It is.
And well, I mean, there were other big things going on, but there's a lot of other governors and mayors.
Oh,
and
well, there's a
everybody.
presidential election last time,
Yes,
too.
yeah.
And this year it's all the state offices. But, I can sit back and just watch it.
Yes.
Because it becomes a circus. Election
Oh,
time,
yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
People get nuts.
People get nuts, I know. And you know, I don't know that I don't understand why local government has become so political. It doesn't make sense to me.
It becomes very political, very,
Yeah.
very, very political, and it becomes personal too.
Right. I mean, I'm also a registered independent. I don't know if you register as an independent.
No, you just don't register for the
Right.
States.
But you know, I miss the old days when it didn't matter which party you picked. They were going to do the job, and it didn't matter.
In Warwick, actually, we have 9 councilmen. They're all Democrats, not one Republican. And there has been a Republican in a while, but I'm independent, and they elected me. So in Warwick, they don't really care about the party.
Right, right. So you just roll your sleeves up and get stuff done.
Right.
And you make your city safer and more functional and affordable.
Yep.
I mean, because those were the things on the list. It was an interesting list. It had to do with how many people had health insurance.
Exactly. There were a lot of
It was the safety. A very, very interesting article. And that was, if you're interested in finding more about that, it was wallet.com.
Wallet Hub.
Wallet, yeah, there we go. And I'll put a link to that in the description if people want to read that. And there've been a few articles. It was really a pleasure getting to have you come in. Is there anything else you want us to know about the city of Warwick?
Well, I'm the first 4-year term mayor. I'm the first independent mayor, and I'm the first Italian-American mayor.
There you have it.
A lot of firsts there.
A lot of firsts.
But Warwick, like I said, it's a great city. The airport causes us a lot of inconvenience, the planes flying over, but it's right there.
Right.
Even though they call it Providence Airport. It's kind of tough for residents to make, to.
Yeah. Well, it's also a little awkward when you land and they tell you you're in Providence.
You're in Providence.
And you need to take a 20-minute Uber.
And every time I'm on the plane, I yell, Warwick! But there used to be a big picture of me standing there, welcome to Warwick. But then I found out that they charge us for that. So that went away.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the corporation that runs the airport.
Oh, yeah. Well,
They really don't consider Warwick at all.
that's unfortunate.
They're not very good neighbors.
That's unfortunate.
And I fought with them a lot. That's probably why, the political people in the state hate me.
Listen,
But they can't get rid of me.
if they're hating you, you must be doing
That's
something
right. That's how I consider it.
Right?
As long as the people vote for me.
That's right. The people love you.
Yeah.
The rest of them can hate you. It doesn't really
That's
matter.
right.
You're doing your
Doing
job.
my job, and we're very open and transparent and honest. And, let the chips fall where they may. We're getting along well. We have a lot of development. We're building 2 brand new high schools right now. We're investing like $500 million in the schools.
Yes, and I see him at a lot of openings. Whenever I'm at an opening, he's there.
We have tremendous amount of businesses opening.
Yep.
Because they didn't open 5 years ago because it was games. It was who you knew.
Right.
And I appointed people who were non-political. I have no influence over them. On the planning boards, the zoning boards, and all of those. And they just come in. We've got, now we're going to have 2 Chick-fil-A's too.
Oh, there we go.
We have 4 Taco Bells.
That's wonderful.
Yep.
That's wonderful. Congratulations on the safest city, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing a really nice job. And check out his website and his Christmas display and all the wonderful things. I will put a link to the Warwick website so you can find out all the wonderful things that are happening in Warwick.
Yeah, and put the Facebook page too, Mayor Frank Picozzi.
Mayor Frank Picozzi.
You'll find out a lot there.
Yeah, there you go. All right, thank you so much. Hey everybody, it's Dina again with the Rhode Island Wave Newspaper and our Spotlight interview series. And I am here with a very special guest, a young author from Rhode Island named Nicholas Bramble. Welcome, Nicholas. Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Congratulations on your 2nd book.
Yes, thank you.
That's pretty amazing.
It's been a lot of work putting it together.
I was reading the press release that I received, and it sounded like it was a lot of work. So this is Nicholas's 2nd book, and you illustrated it.
Yes, I did all the illustrations, and they're all based off of things that I've witnessed in my life, at places we've been, or things that I've seen.
That's wonderful. And so I was reading in the thing you illustrated that. Before we go further, let me let you all know. Nicholas is 15 years old, and this is his 2nd book that he's put out, and it's a series, Adventures at Bramble Woods. So what made you decide to? So this is an adventure park in New Hampshire that's been abandoned. Is that right?
Yes. So the book is about a theme park that was never finished. It was never opened.
Oh.
And the owner's uncle had built it for him, and it was never, it was supposed to be a surprise, but he never received the gift because he died. And
Oh.
so the first book also explores the hotel that was abandoned, and there's a bit of a treasure hunt in there. And the second book also has the treasure hunt type story to it, where they're racing to see who and why this theme park is there.
Oh, so now this is an actual place in New Hampshire.
It is not.
It is not.
It's not.
Okay,
It's
so
not
this is
real.
all inside of your
Yeah.
head.
Yes.
Wonderful.
But all the drawings and the place itself, it's based off of all different places that I've been and that I've visited on family vacations, theme parks, so in over the U.S.
Oh, that's wonderful. So now, did the idea come to you all at once? This theme park, did it just appear in your imagination?
I've always loved going on vacation, going to theme parks, and so after I wrote the book about the hotel, which is the story from the first book, I knew that I had to write about a theme park.
Oh, that's wonderful. So now is it the same premise? They the park and the hotel are kind of like they're ghosts.
Yes, yeah, they're both in the same area on a abandoned mountain of New Hampshire, and as the books go along, they are restoring them to what they once were.
That's wonderful. And so now, was this your first venture towards writing? So you must be writing in school, and you just were like, yeah, I like this.
Yes, I've always enjoyed writing. I first started off drawing at a young age, and I would do a drawing and write small captions and come up with little stories that I would share with my family and friends, and then those drawings and the little writings with them led to bigger stories, more complex stories, and I just knew that I had to record my ideas down.
That's wonderful. Now, how many drawings are in the book?
This book has about 10 to 15 drawings. It's the same for the first book too.
And so each drawing leads to a story about what's going on in that picture.
Yes.
And this all just comes from you.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. You give me hope for our future. Imaginations are still working out there. Now, did you take writing in school, or did it come natural?
My teachers had helped me writing techniques, doing essays in class, and we would have creative writing time, and I would always enjoy that.
That's wonderful. And I was reading in your bio that you go to LaSalle.
Yes, I am a 9th grader at LaSalle currently.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. And you recently had a book signing for your second book. How'd that go?
It's this upcoming
Oh,
Saturday.
it's upcoming Saturday.
It's December 13th at Brood Awakenings on Bald Hill Road.
Okay, so maybe if I get the video out in time, we might get a couple extra people
Yes.
to come in there. Now, do you have a website? I didn't see a website.
I do. It's bramblewoodsbook.com.
Okay, wonderful. So
So
we'll
that's
make
it.
sure we have the website available, and people can go to that website and order the books.
The book is available on Amazon. The website has information about the book, some drawings, some behind the scenes photos, but the book is available on Amazon.
Wonderful. But there must be a link to
Yes.
go to Amazon
Yeah.
to buy the book. Very
Yes,
good,
there
very good. So I see you probably got another 100 books in you. Is that you figure you're brimming with the creativity. That's awesome.
Yes, I have plans for possibly a third book, and I'm always coming up with new stories. Everything with me has a story.
And your mom came with you, and I'm sure she's encouraged you to, which is a wonderful thing. If you got a young artist in your life, encourage them to do it and go forward with it and turn it into something. That's very exciting. Now, how are book sales going? Have you sold a few?
Yes, the sales are good, but I'm just glad that people can enjoy my work and that it's getting out there for people to enjoy. I've heard that people are buying it for their grandchildren, their children are reading it and
That's
really enjoying
wonderful.
it.
Well, I'll have a couple of the illustrations. We'll show some of the illustrations from the book.
Yes.
Maybe get people excited about it. So tell us a little bit about you. You're here in Warwick, Rhode Island, and you go to LaSalle Academy. So what besides drawing and writing, what does your typical day look like? You must be very busy.
Yes, I'm busy. I get to school in the morning. I have a busy day, and I'm studying and doing my homework, and I usually attend clubs after school. So I'm busy with them, and I also take piano lessons.
Okay, yes, I was reading that you're also a proficient piano player. That's very exciting. That's wonderful. So well-rounded in all the arts, and you make us Rhode Island proud. Congratulations on the book, and we have it here, and it'll be on the screen.
Yes.
And we'll show some illustrations from it. Anything else you want the people of Rhode Island to know about you?
I just hope that they enjoy this new Bramble Woods adventure.
The Bramble Woods Adventure. That's very exciting. I thought, well, maybe he stumbled upon this park in the woods somewhere. But no, I love that it came completely out of your imagination. And so you draw it. That's your process. You draw it first, and then you write about it. It's very exciting. Looking forward to looking at it a little bit more and sharing it with our readers and viewers. Awesome. Thank you so much. It was so nice meeting you.
Yes, thank you.